Hey golfers, in this next video I'll be talking about hips in the golf swing. Keep watching. Hi, it's Troy from hittingitsolid.com here. Thanks for watching. So I'm talking about hips in the golf swing. Now, if you look at any of the great players of today or yesteryear, they all move their hips a certain way, the right way, which has enabled them to play golf at a really high level. So it's key that you move your hips correctly. It helps you get speed in the golf swing by getting a bigger turn and also on the downswing through, and can also help you alleviate any back issues that you may have as well, because it'll take some of that pressure off the back. So the hips play a really key role in the golf swing. So let's look at some more keys about the hips in the golf swing. Okay, with the hips in the golf swing, it's really important that you understand this is just one isolated movement. You still need to make sure you are shallowing the club in transition, you're getting that right amount of rotation, you have club face control. Those key things need to be in place, as well as how your hips are moving correctly. Really important. So if I set up to one here, now I'm going to assume, I know it's different for everyone, that you can make a 45-degree hip turn in your backswing. You may only be able to move 30 or 35, that's okay. Really key thing, there's a bit of misconception with the hips in the backswing that you should keep them level. Now, the hips in any great player will not remain level in the backswing or the downswing for that matter. They'll be there for a fraction in the downswing, which I'm going to show you in a moment. But in the backswing, the hips are never level. If I was to keep them level, the only way I could do that would be to stand up in my swing, something like that. All right, so the hips, there'll be an element of tilt. I'll show you something which really illustrates this. Well, I'm going to take an alignment rod just to demonstrate. I'm going to put it through my belt loop here. As I make a backswing, if we get that in there, hopefully this angle will show it really clearly. As I make a backswing, you can see there, hopefully that camera angle is showing that fairly clear, but my right pocket is higher than my lead one here. So there is a distinct tilt in your backswing. The hips do not remain level in the backswing. Really important to understand that. Now the other thing that will happen, that right leg will move back as you turn, but those hips do not remain level. You'll get that distinct tilt in those hips because the right leg will straighten, it'll get higher, there'll be more flex in the lead leg, and you'll have that tilt of those hips in the backswing. All right, so let's talk about the downswing. Okay, in the downswing, what do the hips do? So if I'm set up to one here, leave our alignment rod in here just to demonstrate. So we know that the rear hip pocket here will get higher in the backswing. So let's get to the top of the backswing. We're in this position here. Now as we start down, as we rotate, what will happen is the hips will level out approximately. It'll be different for every player. They'll level out approximately when that club shaft will get about parallel to the ground. Again, it just depends on the individual golfer. So you'll see those hips will level out. And then as I continue to rotate through to impact, you'll see that now the left hip pocket here, the left hip pelvis area up here, that will get higher than the right one. Again, we've got that tilt in our hips in the downswing. They won't remain level at impact. They will remain level at that point there, as I explained, but at impact, they'll be that left hip pocket will be higher as we rotate through to the finish. Both hips will be pointing over towards my target as we fully rotate through. So that's how your hips move in the downswing. So let's look at some ways you can practice this and really get this move built into your game. A great way to practice hips in the golf swing is to grab a club. You can do this with an alignment stick, as I just showed you before. It's great to do this in front of a mirror, works fantastic, or at least film your swing on video so you can see exactly what you're doing. So jump out of your chair, grab your club. Now I want you to put the club head end right along your waistline here, just sticking a little bit out the end here. And what we're going to do is going to make a backswing. So we're going to turn and shift, and you'll see what we're aiming to do is to get that grip end of our club lower than the club head. That way we know we've rotated properly. We don't want to be rotating like this. Club shaft is level, we've got no tilt in those hips. To make a proper backswing turn, we need the tilt in those hips. Now in the downswing, they'll reverse positions. As we start down, level out, then through to impact, you can see that grip end we want higher than the club head, reverse positions. So practicing this in front of a mirror, as I said, is a great way to get instant feedback on how your hips are moving in the golf swing. Now, super important, coming up, I've got a video that talks about weight shift versus hip turn. Now this ties really closely in with this video to help you make a great golf swing. So make sure you watch it, it's coming up. Do you want to know how to make an even better golf swing? Click and watch the video on your screen now. It's going to go into more detail about weight shift versus hip turn, which ties in really well with this video to help you make a great golf swing. Do you want to know how to play even better golf? Consider subscribing to the channel. And remember, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I will get back to you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.